very pleasant memories, right? Because I grew up in a lower middle class home. I was always interested in things like sports, cricket and carom, and I could play a little bit of table tennis as well. And it was a long train ride. My very first train ride had to go Madras to Itarsi and then Itarsi to Varanasi, and then catching a cycle rickshaw and going home. We all had to go to Raman to figure out which hostel we were assigned to. And then I was assigned to Rajputana. 157 Rajputana was my first room. All pleasant memories, right? It was just wonderful. It had that old world charm. It was self-contained, always had a very secure feeling. The food, the mess arrangements, how flexible they were. In fact, I was just talking to a friend of mine today, preparing for this interview. He said one of the memories he had was we could get up late and we could always get breakfast even late, right? Because it was mess organized by the students. The just wonderful campus, great food arrangements. And for me, of course, I was finally free to play sports where I didn't have much facilities in the neighborhood I grew up in. So now I could actually go make an impression in the cricket team, and the common room had carom boards and table tennis tables, and the classrooms were great. I only have pleasant memories of my early experience, with the possible exception of ragging. Right? That was very pleasant memories, right? You'll be surprised. The campus is more or less the same as it was in 1977. I've come there in 1998. Then I came for the centenary celebrations in 2019. It's not too difficult to remember, right? It's pretty much the same. Rajputana is the same. Morvi looks the same. Dhanrajgiri looks the same. The ground outside Rajputana, where we all played a lot of tennis ball cricket, remains the same. I played a lot of my cricket in King's Pavilion. Now, of course, you have a much better cricket ground on the other side of the street. So it's, great. So first memories, I think we took a cycle rickshaw from the Varanasi station. Those days, all my 5 years, I only remember taking cycle rickshaws from the railway station, back to the campus. And so the very first memory of being in Rajputana is all, nice, good, pleasant memories. And that cafeteria that is there, that is even there now, when I saw the 29, was pretty much there as well. So the first time I stepped in the campus, just making friends is my very first memory. We had a group of friends. We were all assigned rooms near Rajputana and we became lifelong friends. Even today, I talk to some of them. So very pleasant memories, and it all is pretty much very close to where it is today. Right? When I came in 2019, all those memories come flooding back. The campus was pretty similar to what it was today. Right? It's not extremely different. Pretty good. The sports culture was much better than you would expect in 1977. And one of the differences was the facilities were always there. The carom boards were there in every common room and every hostel. The table tennis tables were there. The cricket facilities were always there. It was an excellent ground, only thing on this side of the street. And the place opposite Rajputana hostel was very nice to play tennis ball cricket and all the informal, kind of cricket. So the sports culture was there. Now, what was a highlight in 1977 was a certain number of students were taken through sports quota, not necessarily through JEE. And that made a big difference. For example, my whole life, and I played cricket till 2014, till I was 54 years old, I played competitive cricket in the Los Angeles Cricket League in the US. That culture was set by my first cricket captain, K. Nagaraj, Kalidas Nagaraj. He came through the sports quota. And at that time, he was South Zone School's vice captain. So he was a national level talented cricketer. And we also had a gentleman called Jocelyn, who came from Madagascar, who was an excellent soccer player, excellent football player. And so people like that set the tone. And my entire rest of my cricket life that I played in the Tamil Nadu League afterwards, I played 5 years for IIT BHU, then I played 2 years for IIM Bangalore, and then I played in the Tamil Nadu Cricket League, and then I played in the Southern California LA Cricket League for decades, for a long time. Till I finally became too old for it about 6-7 years ago. That culture was set by Nagaraj, the discipline. And we had excellent sportsmen, Dabak in the table tennis team. And I can remember Makran Dev in the University, Suparno Banerjee. They were excellent cricketers there. And so the sports culture was always pretty good there. With the facilities we had, sports was always a thing that we enjoyed in BHU, even during the lesson that I learned is, if you focus well on academics or work, later on professional work, if you focus well on that and work hard with that, if you do justice to that fully, you can enjoy the rest of life quite well. You always have that guilt feeling that, I didn't study well enough for this exam. Right? I didn't take this exercise well enough. It always hangs behind in your mind, and that reduces the focus from the rest of your activities as well. So if there is one thing I would have done, I did take studies seriously. I should have taken it even more seriously, right? So, and I should have been more disciplined with my studies. Right? That's my regret. If I had to go back to BHU again, I will play as much as I played before, but I will take studies a lot more seriously. But the lessons I've learned is it's been a hard grind, because coming from the kind of background I didn't have mentors, right? I didn't have someone who would advise me what to do. So my career was off to a pretty slow start. And so I initially worked in India. I was in management consulting. And then I worked in a foundry for a couple of years. And then I gave it all up at the age of 27, 28 to take up software. I was one of Infosys' earliest employees. And then I came to US in 1988, September, as a contract programmer. And in the US, I've been through every position: contract programmer, analyst, senior analyst, project manager, development manager, director. Every single position I've been through over 33 years. Until my mid 30s, I didn't get much of a break. I was doing quite well. I played a lot of cricket in LA and I was doing very well. And I had respect. People always knew I was a hardworking guy. And when I took up something, I turned it around well. It worked for a long time. So that respect was building up, but there was no career break till I was in my mid 30s. And then suddenly, 1998, I joined this company called Manhattan Associates in Atlanta. And suddenly my career started growing up. In a matter of 4 or 5 years, I went from director to senior director to VP to senior VP, executive VP in a matter of 4.5 years. And then, of course, I became CEO of a couple of public companies. And all the companies I was with just did very well. Either I had something to contribute to it, I was very lucky, or a combination of the two. So what I learned in my career and what came probably natural, I was always a hardworking guy. I always enjoyed work, right? And I never thought about my next step. I didn't have ambitions. I wanted to be CEO, COO, nothing like that. I just didn't know that. I was not cut out that way. I just enjoyed today's work. I was looking forward to sports in the weekend, and I was always been a family guy, being at home. So I was always a non-stop hard worker. And I never looked for the next step. I didn't want the next promotion. I've never gone and asked anyone for a promotion or a raise. Just never done that. That's not my personality. And therefore, I was positive every day at work. So I was not mad about not getting a promotion or anything, because I never wanted anything. I just enjoyed work. I loved programming, and programming just came naturally to me. So I always had fun, and I was a workaholic. I always worked hard. And in the second half of my career, things just worked out. First half of the career was not bad, but nothing special happened. Right? I was just a normal guy into the mid 30s working my way, but I didn't know any different. So because I didn't go for the next step, I always had a positive attitude. And I always had fun at work, and it all worked out. In the second half of my career, I was just very lucky, and everything just worked out. So my advice to be would be, like people always say, my Hindi is terrible. Kuch karne ke soch. I mean, focus on doing things. Kuch banne ki mat soch. I mean, don't worry about what you want to become, because, what you become, there's a lot of luck involved. There's a lot of breaks involved. Things will change in your life. You will think you want to do this, and then you have to pivot and do something else. The best way to approach it, in my opinion, is just to enjoy work. Enjoy what you're doing now, even if it changes. Like I started as a management consultant, managed a foundry for 2 years, and ended up in software. Who would have thought? And then I was in supply chain execution. Suddenly I ended up in gaming systems, and now I'm in hospitality solutions. So life is going to take you along various paths. So don't get too down. Just do the best you can. Enjoy work. It's all easy to give advice, right? When you're being successful. But remember, my life wasn't very successful till I was 38 or so. So it didn't magically happen like that. And always remember, as you sow good seeds along the way, the trees that grow up come and help you sometime in the future. And there is no telling when it'll come and help. All the jobs I get were by people I worked with 10 years ago. And I didn't know that. So when you do something great, don't expect a reward tomorrow. It takes time. Just continue sowing the seeds, and things happen in the future. And you need a little bit of luck as well, right? For me, my health held up quite well. My family's health held up quite well. So I was extraordinarily lucky.
Any lessons you can share on how to be a better person while being a better professional?
Yeah. Personal integrity, work ethic, and being good with your teammates, there is no substitute. Things the right way. Always being known as a high integrity person. Always being known as a high work ethic person, right? One of the best quotes I've ever heard in management is, the best way to achieve your goal is to help others achieve their goal. In professional life, there is no better way to achieve your goals than to help others achieve their goals. When you help others achieve their goals, your goals tend to take care of itself or themselves, right? It happens. So personal integrity, work ethic, and being a good team player would be the top suggestions I have. And you also need to be competent in what you do, right? If you take up something, you need to be good at it, right? You just can't be bad at it and say, I am personal integrity, therefore I grow. You need to have good competence as well. And that builds with hard work. You can build competence with hard work. And you always need to be a trustworthy person. For your professional career to do well, people need to trust you. You need to be known as, I can rely on that girl. I can rely on that person. They need to rely on you. And if all that works out, good things always tend to happen. Sometimes it's a bit delayed. You have to be patient, like I was, right? I was patient for 10, 15 years before my career went. Some people, it happens quickly. Some people, it takes a little bit of time. But those are the fundamental suggestions I would have. And I would say that I hope the institute improves every year. In terms of infrastructure facilities, I hope all of us, 45,000 plus alumni, contribute towards improving the infrastructure for students. Like when I was there, that room that you have in Rajputana was a single person room. 157 Rajputana was my room, and 202 Morvi, and then Dhanrajgiri, and then we used to call it New Tech, Vishwesvaraya Hostel. They were all individual rooms. So it was so much better for us to study, to focus and all that. So the infrastructure has to be improved there, all right? Whether it is residential or the institute facilities, academically, better labs. Some of the labs were the same that I saw 45 years ago, right? Better labs and, more world-class facilities for students to use both academically and otherwise. I hope every year the institute continues to improve and get better in terms of infrastructure, in terms of academic facilities, in terms of professors, right? Teaching quality, just keep improving. And I hope our alumni, all 45,000 of us, or at least most of us, contribute towards it. And each of us can contribute a little bit towards that, right? And then it becomes a flood. If each of us contribute a little bit of water, it will become a flood very soon. I hope we contribute towards improving the institute, and who knows where it will take us 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, right? If we keep improving every year, I think we will be known as a world-class institution in terms of academic education, in terms of attracting the best professors from the world, and in terms of all the other all-round facilities, right? So that's what I hope happens. And all of us, and I'm doing whatever I can to contribute to it. And there are a lot of very successful IIT BHU people out there. I hope all of us contribute to it.